And it's not easy with trying to set up Wi-Fi and get children homeschooling and not having any water and everything. So we're going to try and use this hour to just create a little calm bubble for ourselves. Just finding some time to regroup, reset, recenter in ourselves. And doing the yoga practice for me, and hopefully for you, is almost a way of recharging your batteries a little bit. So that when you do, obviously you can't sit in a yoga bubble all day, but at least this hour can help you recharge, so that when you do go back out into the chaos, you can perhaps approach it with a bit more calm, a bit more quiet and stillness. So that's what we're going to try and do today. So quite a focus on grounding today. So connecting ourselves to the earth, connecting ourselves to us, to our breath, to our body. So really enjoy the sensation of inhabiting your body through the practice. So just being with yourself for an hour. So on that note, we'll just start sitting in the comfortable seated position. Just feel the sensation of the pelvis heavy, so that the sitting bones are really connecting down into your mat. The shoulders are relaxed down. Your hands can just be resting wherever they're comfortable on your lap. And from that heavy pelvis, just a gentle lift through the vertebrae of the spine, length through the back of the neck. If you've been jutting your chin forward a bit, just give the back of your neck chance to lengthen. So you almost feel like you're drawing up from the base of the crown of the head. So if you were going to be lifting, you'd be lifting from the base of the crown of the head. Closing the eyes if you feel like it, keeping them open with a soft gaze if that's better for you this morning. And just taking a nice deep breath in, a nice deep breath out. And just every time you breathe out, just think about anchoring yourself a little bit more into the ground. As you breathe in, feel the length through the spine, and then anchoring yourself down again when you breathe out. Maybe you'll feel your breath naturally get longer and deeper as you start to relax. Feeling the ribs expand as you inhale. Filling the lungs up to the top and softening the belly as you exhale. No need to hold any bellies in at the moment. And then keeping that same rhythm of breath, we're just going to bring in some movements in with the arms. So as you inhale, we're going to stretch the arms above the head. Nice and slow and long, and then exhale, draw them down through the center line, past the third eye to your heart space. So we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, draw down, press the hands together, gentle engagement through the chest. If you've got your eyes closed, inhale. You can almost sense the hands coming past the eyes as they descend back down to the chest, to the heart. 1 more like that, stretching the arms wide, opening the chest, lifting the hands high, and then exhaling, bring them back down to prayer, and just leaving them in prayer for a moment. Inhaling, exhaling. So just having the thumbs resting against the sternum. Breathing in there, feeling the chest expand, and then exhaling, settling yourself down into the pelvis, connecting with the mat, with the floor. Good. And then opening the eyes if they were shut, and we're going to roll on to hands and knees from there. So taking a tabletop pose. So even in tabletop, feel the knees and the shins connect with the mat. Widen the fingers as wide as they will go, middle finger pointing forwards, hands pressing down into the mat, really connected to the floor. And we'll just take some simple cat-cows here. So inhaling, drawing the chest forward, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chin a little bit, and then exhaling, doming through the spine, tucking the tailbone under. So press the knees, the hands, the shins. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, press the floor away with the hands and the shins, lifting the spine as high as it will go. 2 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. And then come back to all fours. Good, so we're going to stretch the right leg out behind us. Ball of the foot staying on the mat, just stretching the heel away so that you've got to stretch through the back of the right leg. Nice long stretch. And then tuck the toes of the left foot under. And we're just going to hover the left knee above the floor. So engaging the belly a little bit. So both feet pressing firmly into the floor, hands firmly into the floor. A little lift through the belly now to help keep your neutral spine. And then gently left knee to the floor, bring the right leg in, back to tabletop. Stretching the left leg out now, pressing the toes into the mat, heel away. So you're getting length through the calf. Engaging the thigh, so you've got a nice straight, strong leg. Tuck the right toes under, and then keep your pelvis level as you hover that right knee above the mat. So you have to use your torso, the muscles around the core to keep the pelvis level. So you can experiment. If you press more into the ball of the right foot, you'll feel the right thigh firm up. So you try and press into the mat with both balls of both feet, and then knee gently back to the floor, other knee joins it. So we're going to take some twisting from here. So bring the left hand more into the center line. And then we're going to turn to the right and stretch the right arm up to the ceiling. So the hips are staying relatively level and the twist coming from the waist all the way up between the shoulders. You might hear some clunks and clicks through your spine. And then bring that hand back down to the mat, change sides, right hand pressed into the mat, turning to the left, opening up that left arm, rotating all the way through the spine. If you press the floor away with your underneath hand, that helps bring the rotation. And back down. So take one more each side. So stretching the right arm up now, feeling the spine rotate on its axis. And back down, right hand to the floor, extending the left hand up now. Good, and back to the floor. So we're going to sit back into child's pose. So heels coming back towards the bottom. So bottom coming back towards the heels. Really sit down as far back in the heels as you can, and then stretching the arms in front of you, forehead down to the floor. Feeling the length through the spine, stretch through the shoulders. And again, that heaviness through the pelvis. So even if your bottom's not on your heels, see if you can relax through the lower back, find length through the spine so that the bottom's descending towards the heels. You can open your knees further apart if that's easier. Resting the forehead on the mat. But your arms are staying active, so you're hugging the arm muscles in towards the bones. Hands are pressed on the floor, so that will bring a stretch hopefully into the shoulders. And then coming back up onto all fours. We're going to take a puppy pose. So keep the knees under the hips, walk the hands forward, and feel the chest descending towards the mat. So a much stronger stretch through the shoulders. So just take it easy if your shoulders are stiff. Forehead coming to the floor, chest descending towards the mat. So stretching through the front of the body. Inhaling, exhaling, don't forget the breath. Exhaling, relaxing the chest further towards the mat. If you've got a tendency to arch a lot through your lower back, you can tuck the pelvis under a little bit. Lift the belly towards the spine so that the stretch is more through the shoulders and the lower back. Good. And then bring yourself back up onto all fours. Just re-ground yourself in that pose. Hands pressing into the floor, shins and knees pressing into the floor. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, send the hips high. So you're finding that front half of your downward facing dog that you did in puppy pose. So big bend in the knees to start with. Descending the chest, pressing the floor away with the hands, and then we're going to stretch one heel towards the mat. So right heel towards the mat and then left heel towards the mat in your own time, just pedaling the feet, one foot in the other, finding length through the back of the body. And then next time you plant your right heel into the mat, so you're planting your right heel in, your left knee's bent, just twist a little bit towards the right. So you're twisting a little bit towards the right, looking under your right shoulder and trying to lengthen through the right side of the body. So you're sending your right hip up and away. So you're stretching the right side of the body. And then change sides. So plant the left heel into the mat, bend the right knee. So your left heel will be coming in a bit towards the center line of your mat. And then looking under your left shoulder, really stretch the left hip up and away so that you find length through the waist, the outer hip on the left side. So do that once more each side. So you're pedaling your feet, but you're also introducing a bit of a twist. So twisting so that the right side's stretched. Take a breath there. And then the other side. Length through the side of the body and the outer hip. Take a breath there. And then bring it back to normal downward facing dog. So totally your choice, the degree to which you have your knees bent. But try not to introduce a rounding through the spine. So if you need your knees bent, then keep them bent. Good. From here, we're going to step the right foot forward, big step forward, plant the back knee down, come up onto your fingertips, and we're going to ground through the front foot. So press the front foot into the mat. So although you're relaxing through the hips so that you can feel the pelvis descend, stretch through the left hip flexor, you're still pressing through the front foot. So you're firing up your front thigh a little bit as well. Inhaling, exhaling, just give your body a chance to open up. So if you can find a lift through the chest, so you might be up on fingertips to allow that. Shoulders back, chest drawing forwards. Good. And then transfer the weight into the back knee. Draw the right toes towards you, coming into a hamstring stretch. So descend the right hip down. Draw the sitting bones back if you can. Reaching the chest forwards. And then just breathing into it. If you haven't been doing much exercise, I'm sure your hamstrings are pretty stiff. So just give your body a moment to respond to what you ask it to do. One more inhale, exhale here. And then rocking the weight forward again. Hands either side of the foot. Tuck the back toes under, step back, downward facing dog. One leg probably feels longer than the other now. So just ground yourself in the pose again, feet pressing into the floor, hands pressing into the floor. See if you can stretch your feet away from your hands, so almost like you're trying to stretch your mat out. And then left leg comes forward between the hands. Draw up the back knee down gently. You can untuck the back toes or you can keep them tucked up, whichever feels best for your knees. So again, pressing strongly, firmly through the left foot, but relaxing through the pelvis. So you might find you've got one side that's much tighter than the other. So even though you're relaxing the pelvis, see if you can press through the front foot, draw the shoulders back, chest forwards, and breathe. With every exhalation, maybe feeling the pelvis getting a little bit heavier, bringing a bit more of a release into the right hip flexor. And then rocking the weight back, trying to draw your hips parallel, toes coming towards you, stretch through the back of the leg. So draw the chest forward and away. So rather than slumping onto the leg, see if you can lift the chest, draw the spine long, shoulders relax down, drawing that left hip so it's back in line with the right. One more deep breath here, and then rocking the weight forward again, hands either side of the foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling, exhaling here. Inhaling, come forward to a plank. Pressing the hands away into the floor still, which should create a feeling of space and doming across the back of the shoulders. Lifting the belly away, lifting the chest away, heels stretching back, nice long straight plank, and then knees drop to the floor, dropping chest and chin to the mat, leaving the hips to come last. So tucking the elbows in, coming down nice and slow, and then all the way down onto the mat. We're going to start our back bending this morning with Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, elbows are under the shoulders. Your hips are planted firmly into the mat, the thighs are engaged, the feet are touching the floor as well. It's a really nice way to start back bend. I prefer it to cobra, to be honest. And you're drawing the shoulders back and the chest forward. So if you feel like you're pulling your hands towards you on the mat so that you can lift the chest forward, don't jam the head back. You can look up, but keep length in the back of the neck. Good. So from here, we're going to lift up into forearm plank. So we're going to tuck the toes under and peel from the top of the body. So you're going to lift the chest away first, then the hips. Hold the tummy in really strongly before you straighten the knees. So come up very carefully, supporting the back. So you'll come into a forearm plank. Okay, so we're going to take that up and down a couple of times. So drop the knees down, roll the thighs down, the belly down, untuck the toes. And then drawing the chest between the forearms, rolling the shoulders back. Make sure you're engaging the thighs, the feet. Good. And then back the other way. So lift the chest, the belly, and then the knees last. Draw the belly in strongly. So now you're pressing the forearms, the elbows, the hands firmly into the mat. Breathing there. Dropping the knees. Dropping the thighs, hips, drawing the chest forwards, rolling the shoulders back. Lovely. One more time. Lift from the top all the way up into plank. Couple of breaths here. And then knees, thighs, hips. Drawing the chest forward one more time. And then rolling back down so you can bring your hands outside your chest. Pressing back up via tabletop position to downward facing dog. So you're sending the hips high behind you, softening between the shoulders, softening so the chest can descend towards the mat. And then when you're ready, transfer the weight into the left foot, floating the right foot up into a three-legged dog. No need to throw your leg up particularly high. You're keeping the hips parallel. Send that right heel away so the leg is straight and strong. Firm up the bottom. And then big step, right foot comes all the way between the hands. Then lift up into a high lunge. So you can have your hands on your hips to start with. Both feet pressing firmly into the floor. So we're grounding the pose. So with this pose, there's a tendency to think about the front thigh and not the back thigh. So you're pressing the floor away with the back foot as well, so that your buttock is firm. So you can even put your hand on your left buttock. Is it floppy or is it firm? So see if you can firm up that buttock as well as the front thigh being firm. Good. So from here, we're going to take our eagle arms to get a stretch for the shoulders. So stretch the arms wide, and then you're going to cross right arm over left. Keep crossing and then keep wrapping. So you can either wrap so that your hands are palm to palm, or they can be the back of the hand to the back of the hand if you can't get it all the way around. So stay in your lunge, relax the shoulders down, and your forearms are vertical, and then feel like you're drawing the forearms away from you so that you're getting length through the upper arms. The more you draw the forearms away, the more you'll feel a stretch across the back of the shoulders. Inhaling, exhaling there. Shoulders down, elbows lifted so that they're in line with the shoulders. And then unravel, hands either side of the foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale there. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, this time coming to a small cobra. So thighs aren't planted into the mat, knees, feet, just using your back muscles to roll the shoulders up away from the floor and then hover the hands off the floor so you can feel the back muscles engage. Hands either side of you again, pressing back up, downward facing dog. So we'll take that the other side. So floating the left leg up now with control, hips parallel, squeeze the bottom, send the heel away. So you've got to stretch through the calves of both feet and then stepping that left foot forward between the hands, finding your foundation in your feet before you lift the torso up into a high lunge. So just as we did before, front leg and back leg, you're on a tripod. Front leg's bent, back leg straight, engage the buttocks of the right leg. Not the buttocks of the right leg, the right buttocks. And then reaching the arms wide. Left elbow comes over right this time, wrapping the arms around each other. So you're descending down through the pelvis, grounding through the feet, and then drawing the elbows up to in line with the shoulders, but keep the shoulders relaxed down. And then think about pressing the forearms away from you so that you bring stretch across the back of the shoulders. Inhaling, exhaling. Keep the legs active. And then release. Hands either side of the foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. So feel the heels descending towards the mat, even if they're not on the mat. Hands pressing firmly into the mat. So that gives you space to descend the chest towards the thighs, sending the sitting bones high. So the good thing about downward facing dog is the length that you can create through the sides of the body, as well as the stretch for the arms and the legs. So see how much length you can get between your hands and your hips. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. And this time we're going to send the arms behind us. So hands reaching back, lifting the chest away from the floor, and then stretching the legs away so that the legs lift off slightly, coming into locust. So just a little lift with the legs, so the whole of the back of the body is firing up. And roll back down again, hands either side of the chest, pressing your way back up into downward facing dog. Inhaling, exhaling there. So three-legged dog again, right leg floats up. And then stepping that right leg forward between the hands. This time we're going to ground the right heel down. Use the right heel to bring us all the way up into warrior. I'll do all our old favourites today. So a very grounded warrior. So both feet firmly pressing into the mat. Have a little look at the outside, the left foot. Make sure that you haven't collapsed into the inner foot. The arch is lifted. So both sides of the foot are in contact with the floor. Same with the front leg. As your knee tracking over your toes are both inner and outer edge of the foot pressing into the floor. So coming down as low as you can without losing that nice shape. Good. So bring the hands to the hips. We're going to tilt our bodies towards the front leg. And then when we get there, we're going to rest the elbow lightly on the front knee. Drawing the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then over so that the hands coming aligned with the ear into side angle pose. So try and lift out of your right arm. So your shoulder's not slumping down. You're pressing the knee into the leg. You're pressing the right foot into the floor. So all the work's not happening in the arm. Good. Coming back up to warrior. And then we're going to take reverse warrior, but slightly differently this time. So we're going to lift the right arm up into reverse warrior, and then use the left hand to catch hold of the right wrist, just gently, so that you're using the left hand to encourage length through the side of the body. You should feel a really nice stretch all the way through the side of the body, from the hip to the wrist. And then coming back to normal warrior. One more moment. Then turning towards the front of your mat, let the left heel come up off the floor so that you can bring the hands either side of the foot. Stepping back, down facing dog. Take a breath there. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or you can come down in a straight line without the knees touching the floor first if you prefer. Inhale, coming to cobra again. So this time you might want to lift up a little bit higher, you might not. If you're lifting up higher, make sure the thighs, the feet are pressing into the floor and it's the back that's doing all the work, not the arms. And then pressing your way up, back to downward facing dog. Inhaling, exhaling there, ground yourself again, really connecting into the mat with the hands, the feet. Deep breath in and out. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhaling, step it through. Ground the left heel this time. Coming up into warrior on the other side. Both feet pressing firmly into the mat. Pelvis descending. So feel like you've got your weight evenly between both feet. It's not all the way over the front foot. Have a check of your feet again. Are they rolling in? Are they rolling out? Nice alignment through the feet. Good. Hands on the hips. Tilt the body towards the front leg so you feel length from the outer foot. And then when you get there, gently resting the elbow on the knee. Not too much weight on that elbow. Reaching the right arm up to get length and then alongside the ear, nice long straight line. Don't slump down into that front leg, keep pressing the floor away. Inhaling, exhaling as long as you can through the side body and then coming back into warrior. So resettle yourself, keep breathing even if your thighs are screaming at you. And then lifting up the left arm, reverse warrior. Gentle hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Nice stretch through the side of the body. Inhaling, exhaling. And then coming back to normal warrior, just one more moment. Rotating towards the front foot, hands either side of the foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale there. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, cobra of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale there. And then you can either step the feet back towards the hands or bend the knees. Look forward, hopping the feet between the hands. Coming into a forward fold. Inhaling, exhaling here. So you can have your knees as bent as you need to, so that you can feel total release through the spine. So the hips are lifted high and the body's just relaxing down from that foundation. So feet are pressing into the mat. You can catch hold of your elbows. And then from here, we're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae to standing. Stacking the muscles, the vertebrae, coming all the way up to the top to mountain pose. So feet under the hips, growing nice and tall, really grounding through the feet. So coming to your front of the mat, we're going to do one more sequence before we come into our standing poses. So feet under the hips, bring the hands to prayer. Inhale, reaching up to the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forward, knees can be bent. Inhaling, coming up to flat back, so hands are on the shins. Send the hips forward, roll the shoulders back, draw the belly in. Exhale, fold forward, step the right leg back. So we're going to ground the back heel at 45 degrees. So the heel's on the floor, but we have to bring the heel in at 45 degrees, coming into warrior two. So hands on your hips again. Good. So just as we've discussed before, your hips can be facing about 45 degrees to the right, but then you're turning your chest a little bit more towards the front leg. So just as we did before, firm that right buttock up so your back foot's pressing into the floor just as much as your right foot is. Interlace the fingers behind you, or if you can't interlace, you can hold on to the elbows. Stretch the arms down and away. So you're lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back, lovely stretch through the front of the chest and the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to hinge our way forward with the flat back into humble warrior. So you're bringing your chest just to the inside of that left thigh. Press the floor away. So keep that grounding in the pose. And then allow the arms to come away from the back if they will come away. If not, just keep stretching your hands down towards the bottom. Inhale, exhale. So you should be pressing the floor away with the left foot and the right foot, relaxing through the shoulders. Inhale, come back up. That's a tricky one. Keep the hands stretching away, and then we're going to step the right foot in. So it's just balancing, you're balancing on the ball of the foot with the weight onto the left foot. So keeping the hands interlaced, we're going to come into the T-shaped balance. So really ground that left foot into the mat. Stretch the right leg away, really long, straight. You can have the toes pointed or flexed, whichever feels better for you. Keep stretching the leg away, tilting the body forwards. Keep breathing. You can bring a soft bend, a little bend into that left leg if that feels better for you. And then coming back down, foot resting onto the floor, coming up standing, release the hands away. Good, so we're going to come sideways on our mats now. Feet nice and wide apart, toes turned out 45 degrees. Bring the arms up so you're creating a star shape. And then bend the knees, bring the hands to prayer. So horse pose or goddess squat. So your knees are tracking over your toes, nice deep bend. Bring the hands to the inside of the thighs. And you're basically sticking your bottom out and stretching the chest forward. So you're in a flat back position. So stretching through the inner thighs. And then we're going to dip the left shoulder down so that we're twisting towards the right. My spine's really cracking when I did that. Good. Breathe there, lovely twist. Come back center, inhale. Exhale, left shoulder in, twist to the right. Inhale, back center, and two more each side. Twist the right shoulder down, turn the torso. Keep pressing through the feet. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. And back center. Straighten the legs. Lift the arms up into star shape again. And then we're going to turn the toes to face forward. Bring the hands to the hips again. And we're going to take a forward fold from here. So toes are facing forward. Send the sitting bones away. Send the crown of the head forward. Actually, we're just going to make it a bit harder. Stretch the arms out either side of you, shoulder height. So you can feel your back muscles are having to work as well. So stick your bottom out so you're feeling a stretch through the top of the hamstrings. Belly working. And then relax all the way down. Hands towards the floor. You might go on your fingertips. If you're quite flexible and you're quite low down, bring your hands back so that your fingernails are in line with your toenails. And then just release down, forward. So just check where your weight is on your feet. You're not rocking back into the heels or rocking forward into the toes or in between. And then just breathing there. Feel the head is heavy. So there's no holding on in the neck. It's the weight of the crown of the head that's drawing the spine down towards the mat. Good. One more deep breath there. If you're quite close to the mat, you might want to draw the hands away from the feet, sort of towards the front of your mat to help draw the crown of the head towards the floor. And then coming up onto your fingertips, come back into that flat back position. And then bend the knees a little bit, coming all the way up to standing again. Bring the feet back together and to the front of the mat, and we'll take the other side. So bring the hands to prayer, inhaling, exhaling, and then inhaling to reach up. Exhale, folding forwards all the way down. Soften the knees if you need to. Inhale, coming up flat back. Exhale, folding forwards. Stepping the left foot back this time, finding a warrior one position. So your left heel grounded 45 degrees, right foot to the other side of the mat so that you're not in one straight line, pressing up into warrior, hands to your hips to start with. So activating both legs. So try with that feeling of stretching the mat apart, right leg stretching forward, left leg stretching back, firm up the left buttock. And then interlacing the fingers, one slot down from where you did the other side, if you remember. It's probably the more unusual feeling way. Stretching the arms away, lifting the chest, and then hinging forward into humble warrior. Keep pressing through the feet. And let the chest come down onto the inside of that right thigh. Let the arms come away, so you're stretching through the shoulders. You're keeping the spine long, crown of the head stretching forwards. So one more breath there, keep pressing through the right foot and the left foot. Inhale, come back up. Take a big step in, so you're balancing on the ball of the left foot. Bring the weight into the right foot, get your balance on that right foot, and then start to lift the left leg away, tilting the body forward so you come into a T-shaped balance. Soft gaze at a point ahead of you. If you can keep those hips parallel. And then coming back down, resting the weight on that back toes, on the ball of the foot again, then coming to standing. Release the hands. Standing in mountain pose for a moment. Get your breath back. So feel that sense of grounding through the feet. And then the soft expansion of the spine towards the sky. Feeling very centered over your own feet. I always find it amazing that when you think about standing, it's quite tricky thinking, is my weight forward, is my weight back, is it side to side, but we do it just so unconsciously most of the time. Great, so we're going to take a standing stretch with the glutes. So bring your weight into your left foot, bend the left knee, and then you're going to cross your right ankle over your left foot. So it's a flexed foot, so the ankle's resting on the top of the knee. Bring the hands to prayer, and then bend that left knee more deeply. So you'll feel as you bend the knee more deeply, you're getting more of a stretch into the right buttock. So come down as low as you can to get a nice stretch for that right buttock. So once you've come down as low as you can gently rest the elbows, one on the knee and one on the heel, so that the weight of your elbows is actually helping to press that right knee out to the side, just very gently. And then if you want to come down a bit further, you can lean forward, bend the knee more so the fingertips come to the floor, or just stay where you were with elbows resting on your leg. You put your hands on your floor, lifting back up again, hands to prayer. Everybody come up, hands to prayer. And then gently coming all the way up, standing. Well done. Give the legs a little shake out if you need it. And then changing to the other side. So weight comes into the right foot, bend the knee deeply, cross the left ankle over. Keep that foot flexed so that your ankle's not sickling. And then starting to bend more deeply. So feel a nice big stretch in the left buttock. Bend, bend, bend. That's it. So you come down so that your elbows resting lightly on the knee and the elbow. Knee and the ankle, sorry. And then either staying there, or if you did on the other side, you can experiment with bringing the fingertips, floating them down towards the floor, just to get a slightly deeper stretch. And if you did, coming back up now, hands to prayer, one more breath, and then coming back up standing. Well done. Giving the legs a little shake. Good. And then we're going to come to forward fold one more time. So bring the feet hip width, not hip width apart, nice and wide, toes facing forward, feet parallel. And coming down once more, arms stretched out, hinging from the folds at the top of the legs, coming into a flat back forward fold. Engage the back muscles. So you've got length through the spine, crown of the head stretching forward, sitting bone stretching back, ground the feet, press the feet strongly into the mat, and then release all the way down. Head coming towards the mat. So this time, if it feels nice, you can gently cradle your hands around the back, the lower part of the back of the skull. So you're not pulling, you're just cradling the hands, interlace the fingers at the nape, sort of between the nape, at the top of the nape of the neck, just under the back of the skull, and just hang like that. If that doesn't work and you don't know what I'm talking about, then just release the hands to the floor, but that can give you a nice stretch through the back of the neck and the upper spine. It makes me talk funny as well. Inhaling, exhaling there. Good. If you're holding your head, release it now. Release hands to the floor. And this time bend the knees and rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae. So stacking the spine from the base of the spine all the way up to the top. Bring the legs together. Coming back to a standing pose. Inhaling, exhaling. Good. So we're going to come down to the mat via a little squat. So bring your feet mat width apart. Toes probably pointing about a bit wider than the heels. Hands to prayer. Bending deeply. Coming all the way down to your squat. Might be tricky if you haven't done it for a while. Good. So we're aiming to get the heels down onto the mat, but don't worry if they're not quite making it. So if you can press the inner knees apart with the elbows, lifting the chest forward, but relaxing through the lower spine. So pelvis is heavy. And then dropping back all the way to the floor. Coming to the floor, we're going to cross right leg, right foot over left, but with both your sitting bones on the floor if you can. So still grounding through both sitting bones. So you've got right foot flat on the floor. So we're going to take a twist here. So you're going to wrap your left elbow around that right knee, and then support your weight on your right arm behind you. So you're twisting towards the bent knee. Draw the belly in to allow you to twist. And your hands just there to help keep your spine very upright. So a nice, tall, elegant twist. You can turn the head to look over that right shoulder. You can turn the eyes, even looking into the corner of the right eyes. That feels quite nice for the eyes. And then coming back to center. Changing sides. So you're planting your left foot so it's flat on the floor over the right. Sitting up nice and tall, wrapping right elbow over left knee. So you're just using the elbow to help lift and to help rotate. So all the way from the base of the spine through the center of the spine, just lightly using the fingertips of the left hand to help keep the spine upright. And then you can turn your head last. So turn as much as you can and then finish with the head. And then look out the left side of your eyes. Keep breathing. Use the exhalation to release you into the twist a bit more. And then come back to center. So we're going to come back to just cross-legged. Put the right shin in front of the left. I'm just going to finish off with another shoulder stretch. I'm sure everyone's got computer shoulders. So we're going to lift the right arm up, drop the right hand down the back. I'm facing this way. And then just gently using the left hand to draw the elbow into a deeper stretch. So try not to bring the neck into this at all. And then taking the other arm, left arm away. Make it nice and long, rotating the back of the hand towards me, and then sending it up the back, see if it gets anywhere near the other hand. If it doesn't, just you can catch hold of your top. Good. So sitting up nice and tall, drawing the elbows away from each other. One more breath there, and then release that off, nice and carefully. Unwind the arms, and then just change the cross of your legs so your left shin's in front, just for change. It often feels quite strange sitting the other way around. And then other arm. So left arm up, dropping down the back. Don't yank your elbow, just gently encouraging it in and back. So you feel length here through the upper arm. And then stretching the right arm out, internal rotation, and then sending up the back. Catching hold of the other hand or whatever you can catch hold of, and then finding that heaviness again through your seat, through your sitting bones. One more deep breath there. Inhaling, exhaling, and then release. Sitting there, just absorbing how that now feels in the shoulders. Good. And then we're going to take a final forward fold, but in quite a nice relaxed way. So if you bend your knees up so that your heels are on the floor, and you catch hold of the outer edges of your feet. So you can basically lean your chest onto your thighs and release the head down. So that you probably would already feel that's a nice stretch through the length of the spine. So from there, if you want to, you can either stay there if that feels really good, and you can use your feet to kind of draw your chest closer towards your thighs to give you length through the back of the spine. If you're a bit more flexible for your hamstrings, you might want to creep your heels a little bit further forward as you go, so that you're bringing a bit more stretch into the hamstrings as well. But just if it just feels really nice with the knees bent, then stay there. Relax the head fully. If you want to creep the heels forward, you can, to bring it more into a hamstring forward fold as well. Just turning in on yourself, turning inward. Keep the breathing nice and deep. Feeling the ribs expand behind you, to the side of you. Exhaling. Maybe releasing a bit more into the fold. A couple of nice deep breaths like that. Quietening down the nervous system. And then from wherever you are, start to uncurl yourself to a sitting pose. And now, if your knees were bent, you can straighten them now. So we're just going to sit up, legs straight, spine lifting. You can use your hands either side of your bottom to help keep the spine upright. Just draw the toes towards you. Bring some effort into the thighs, so that the legs are stretching out nice and strong. And then release the legs. And we're going to roll ourselves down onto the floor for Shavasana. So just let yourself roll down, uncurl onto the floor. So your choice, whether you take Shavasana with your feet, your knees bent up, feet mat width apart, or whether you want to extend your feet all the way out the corners of the mat. So settling the whole back of the body onto the mat. Pelvis is heavy, shoulder blades relax down onto the mat. No need to do anything. Just absorb the energy that you've created through your practice. So letting go of the thighs, the knees, softening the belly. Just feel a sense of release between every vertebrae of your spine. So your spine is just settling down onto the mat in its natural curve. Relax the arms, the hands. Relax the muscles of the face, and the eyes. So really feeling that connection with the floor. With every exhalation, the body becoming a bit heavier. Melting into the mat beneath you. Feeling the breath slow. Body settle even further into the mat. So it's time to start waking up now. So bringing some movement into your body, however feels good for you. Wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe taking a big stretch. Hugging the knees in. Giving the knees a little squeeze. Maybe giving yourself a rock from side to side. And then when you're ready, rolling onto the right side. Giving yourself a moment there before you press your way up to sitting again. So just taking a moment to observe how you feel now. Hopefully feeling a little bit more centered and grounded. So through these difficult times, we need to really take care of ourselves as well as everybody else, even if it's only for a few moments every day. Remember that we can only control what we can control. So bring the hands to the heart, bowing the head, namaste.